enthusiasm and his positive feeling about his players' chances of competing this evening against the fourth-time state champions, Carl Albert.
Well, Douglas already beat Carl Albert this year, and Guthrie played Douglas and gave them all they wanted into the fourth quarter when finally Douglas just blew them out. But it gave them the confidence to think we can play with Carl Albert because we played with Douglas. And here come the Blue Jays. Nobody's sitting down on the near side of the field. This is their squad.
Well, anytime you get ready to play the four-time state defending champion, you better crank it up because you're going to be in for a long evening if you don't.
Carl Albert's already lost one game this year, as we mentioned. That's one more than they care to lose. Oh, this is outstanding. The Carl Albert kickoff team is already on the field. They are ready to go. Jordan Moore will be doing the kickoff. Guthrie will be ready to take the field first. Let's go down and introduce the third member of our broadcast team, Steve Marshall. Steve.
Thanks a lot, Mick. When we talked with Coach Rafe Watkins, he said one of the big things they really have to do, you hear the yak, the yards after catch or downfield tackling. That's the one thing that he said they really need to concentrate on. They've really emphasized the last couple of weeks is make sure you wrap them up, bring them down, and don't allow them to get in the secondary because team speed, Carl Albert has a lot of that. We know we've seen it already.
Thanks, Steve. And now the Blue Jays are taking the field, heading off to the north end. And there you see Jordan Moore, who'll kick off for Carl Albert. Steve Smith and Lance Powers are deep for the Blue Jays. Opening kickoff, Carl Albert and Guthrie. Your Oklahoma Ford dealers, game of the week. This is Smith from a yard deep, and you can't bring it out in high school football, so they'll start at the 20. Let's take a look at tonight's officials. The referee is an old friend of mine, Marty Askins. The umpire, Mike Bradley. The head linesman is Tom Flanagan. The line judge, Tom Gilmore, and the back judge is Harmon Ray.
I have no officials that are my friends.
It's a misnomer, huh?
Yeah, as a football coach, you have a tendency to.
Dual quarterback situation for Guthrie, and they will start with Michael Hayes, who works out of the shotgun. And on first down, he's setting up to throw, looks into the pocket, goes downfield. He's got DeMarco Jones, and DeMarco Jones is off to the races. They're not going to get him. No flags, touchdown Blue Jays, and this place is going nuts. Take a look, Coach. The quarterback threw to the other quarterback.
Quarterback to quarterback. Here you go. They came out with no backs in the backfield, only the quarterback. It was an empty formation. I think it caught Carl Albert a little bit off guard, and you found a great throw from one quarterback to the other quarterback. DeMarco Jones caught the ball in stride, went the distance.
The extra point is good. Guthrie brings Carl Albert in and gives him a very unpleasant welcome. An 80-yard strike. The Titans will get the ball when we return.
You're watching Cox Communications Channel 3, Oklahoma City, Channel 9, Tulsa. Local, like you.
Well, the crowd is now sitting down for the first time. The Guthrie Blue Jays, a one-play, 80-yard strike. And now the Titans will get the ball for the first time. And if Carl Albert came into this game wondering what Guthrie was all about, they have their attention now. There's the kickoff, and it's going to Brandon Smith. Up across the 20 to about the 22 or 23-yard line.
Yeah, that tackle there was made by John Hudson, number 83. He came down with great enthusiasm and with reckless abandon and just went in there, threw his body, and knocked the ball carrier down right in his tracks.
Another look at the touchdown. There you see the throw from Hayes and DeMarco Jones showing the speed of a wide receiver. And 13 seconds into the game, it's 7-0.
DeMarco Jones is the quarterback.
Andre Daniel, the Carl Albert quarterback, he's got 2 running backs behind him. And on 1st and 10, he hands off to one of those running backs. Right up the middle of the field. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for Carl Albert. Up front, D'Angelo Bradley, Mike Dunn, Travis Burke, J.R. Rowlett, and Jason Madonna. The tight end is J.D. Runnels. Fullback is Derek Colquitt. Brian Smith's the tailback. Andre Daniels the quarterback. Burge and Smith are his main 2 wide receivers. And on 2nd down and about 7, Brandon Smith splits wide to the left. Burge in motion. And Daniels still got it. Got a 1st down and more, up close to the 40. And, Coach, he can run and throw, and that's what makes him so valuable. But first, let's take a look at the Guthrie defense. Blue Jays have a 5-man front. Robert Harmon, we'll talk a lot about him tonight. Jared Payne, Ryan Spate, Kyle Smith, and William Morgan. The linebackers are Smith and Rush. The safeties are Power and Lewis. The corners, Knight and Garrett, they both have great speed. 1st and 10 at the 40. Daniel takes a long look at the Blue Jay defense. Even man front this time. He's still got it. Looking for Runnels, who comes back and gets the ball for a 1st down.
Well, they just looking for the tight end. Runnels comes right through. No one bumped him as he came off the line of scrimmage. They're putting Harmon on Reynolds, but Harmon's playing inside, and you see Reynolds get a free release and runs down the field and just gets lost in the secondary and is able to come up with the catch. The All-Stater did a good job of finding the open area.
This time, both wide receivers are left. Colquitt's the fullback, and Brian Smith's the tailback. And they pitch it to Smith. Colquitt blocking in front, but nobody's touched Smith before he turns the corner and gets another 1st down. Coach, it looks like Carl Albert's winning the battle at the line.
Well, Carl Albert has won the battle at the line of scrimmage the last couple of years for sure. They have very good linemen. They're very well coached. They do a great job in the weight room. They're winning because their offensive and defensive line usually controls the line of scrimmage.
7-0. If you just joined us, the Blue Jays threw an 80-yard pass on their first and only play from scrimmage so far. Early 1st quarter, Carl Albert on the move. 1st and 10 at the Guthrie 33. Colquitt. The running's hard inside, but he's across the 30 to the 29.
Derek Colquitt is really a very, very good high school football player. Over the last couple of years, we've had an opportunity to see him play a number of times, and he is a tough hombre. He is a true fullback. He's a great blocker, and when he runs with the football, you have to be a man to bring him down.
Gain of 4. 2nd down and 6. Burge goes left. The Smith brothers are split wide to the right. Brian and Brandon. The fake to Colquitt. Daniel does a 360 spin. Cuts inside across the 30 to the 26. And for the first time on this drive, Carl Albert will go to a 3rd down.
Nice show of his athleticism. Watch Daniel here as he comes down the line of scrimmage. He makes a fake to the fullback, is able to bounce off a couple of tackles and still pick up a yard or 2 to give them a chance at the 3rd and short.
3rd down, a long 2. Runnels in motion. And they run behind him. I don't think he got it. William Morgan came up and stuck him.
William Morgan did a great job of shooting the gap and hitting the ball carrier before he was able to get to the line of scrimmage and was able to bring him down before he was able to get to the 1st down marker. Watch him right here come through, make the hit right there, take the ball carrier and throw him down before he can get to the first down marker.
We talked about the linebackers, and there's one of them. 4th and 2 now. Colquitt. All the the way up to the 20-yard line.
He got hit at the line of scrimmage, Mick, and because he's such a powerful runner, he was able to run through some arm tackles and be able to pick up the necessary yardage for the first down.
I think Jarrell Smith is the guy credited with the stop. But you're right. Well, that could have been a pivotal play.
Well,
if they could have turned him away there. Carl Albert was on the move. 1st and 10. Carl Albert methodically moving the ball down the field. This drive started at their own 23. They're now inside the Guthrie 20. Colquitt. Not this time. William Morgan. Lance Powers. What do you think about, you got a linebacker named Will, but he's the middle linebacker. How can they not put that guy on the weak side?
He has to be the Mike linebacker, isn't he? Will is the weak side linebacker. Let me tell you something that Carl Albert does here. We'll take a look at the replay here. One of the things that they do is they take Runnel and put him on one side of the line of scrimmage. The Guthrie team puts Harmon on Runnels, and then they put Runnels in motion and run away from their best defensive players. So they're wasting Harmon by putting him on Runnels because Runnels steps back, goes in motion, and they run away from him towards Runnels, and Harmon stuck on the weak side of the formation.
So perhaps an adjustment would be coming up, but at this point, advantage Carl Albert in the X's and O's. Timeout is called by Guthrie. Ball advanced down to the 10. It's 3rd down and 1. And who knows, Coach, that may be what they're discussing in there now.
Well, what happens is when you try to match up two players, if the player that you're trying to match up with goes in motion, then your good player is stuck to the opposite side of the formation. And most of the time they're going to run where Runnels is. So you're running away from their best player, and you're running to your best player to one of the weaker players that's not as good as Harmon, who they have matched up to him.
If you like this game so much, you want to see it again, it'll start at 10:30 tonight. Channel 3 in Oklahoma City, Channel 9 in Tulsa. A presentation of Cox Communications. We're in Guthrie. A couple of defensive changes for the Bluejays. Jared Payne, number 74, he's one of the captains. And Chad Sanders, a backup nose guard, is inserted in there to the front. And it looks as if, Coach, they're expecting an interior run. We'll see.
Well, they got some big people up front now on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 1. They split Runnels wide to the left. Quarterback sneak by Daniel. Pretty close. I don't see the Guthrie defender celebrating, so he may have just gotten it.
Well, remember, Daniel is 6'3", so all he has to do is fall forward a little bit, and he can reach for the first down marker.
There's a good shot there to show his height. The other players come up to the middle of his face mask. It is a first down for Carl Albert. Now they've got 1st and goal. Ball spotted at the 8. 6:24 to play first quarter. The Bluejays leading Carl Albert 7-0. Burge in motion. Fumble in the backfield. Carl Albert lost the ball. And here comes number 72, Ryan Spate, out of the bottom of the pile, and he's got it. Coach, when you got the ball 12 plays and you get no points, that's disappointing when you go back to the sidelines.
You know, right now, everything is going Guthrie's way, and they're playing at home. This is an important game for them. We'll see how cool Carl Albert is in keeping their poise. Right here, the ball is put too far through the fullback's stomach, and he didn't have a chance to grasp it, and the hit knocks it out.
Penalty marker out. Michael Hayes scrambling, decides to keep it. He gets all the way up to the 20. A really nice gain of 6 or 7 yards. But I think we got an illegal shift coming out of the backfield. Colquitt made the stop, but it's coming back anyway. The call came out of the offensive backfield. Coach, what's that usually mean?
Excuse me, I didn't hear you, Mick.
The call came out of the offensive backfield.
Usually
Motion
you probably got a
by the offense.
motion penalty.
5-yard penalty.
Offense doing
Repeat, first
something
down.
illegal or somebody moving before they were supposed to.
Still a nice run by Hayes. Let's see where they're going to move him back to. Looks like they're back to the 8, and it'll be first down and 15.
3
wide receivers left, 1 right. Hayes is in the shotgun. Option keeps. Tackled at the 10. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Guthrie Bluejays. They scored so fast last time we didn't have a chance. Up front, Sanders, Smith, Mudd, Murillo, and Van Houten. Tight end is Montel Hayes. Rush and Smith are the running backs. DeMarco Jones, one of the quarterbacks. He didn't start tonight. Garrett and Knight are the wide receivers. We'll see DeMarco Jones at quarterback, but right now Michael Hayes is in there.
Hayes is their throwing quarterback, Mick, and DeMarco Jones is supposed to be their option quarterback, but they'll do both with each other.
He's the receiving quarterback, too, as we saw on that first play. Pass downfield, tipped, and intercepted by Marcus Threet. Oh, what an athletic play by Marcus Threet. He is the starting safety. And he's also a running back for Carl Albert, and they'll have the ball at the Guthrie 24.
Right here, Hayes should have ate the football. He had no opportunity to get the ball into the receiver. He had somebody in the front and somebody in back. Great job by Threet to hit the ball, tip it up in the air, come back with the football, and even get some positive yards towards the goal line.
So there went that momentum. Now Carl Albert is set up. First and 10 at the 24. Verge is wide left. The I formation behind Daniel. And the give goes to Threet. He just made that interception. He's across the 20.
When you play Carl Albert, you can't make mistakes if you're going to stay in the ballgame. Carl Albert doesn't make very many mistakes themselves, and if you do make mistakes against a well-coached team, you're going to be in for a long evening.
Rush made the tackle. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Handoff goes inside. Colquitt only got a yard or 2, and it'll be 3rd down and 5.
I'll tell you, a good football player early in this ball game is number 45, William Morgan. Morgan has really done a good job of getting his helmet on Colquitt as he comes through the line of scrimmage. That takes away one of the options that Carl Albert likes to run, and that's stuffing you with the fullback up the middle.
Well, you're right. He's got 4 tackles already. 3rd down and about 6. Daniel still got it. Pitches to Bird. He's at the 15, still on his feet, and out of bounds at the 11 or 12-yard line. I think he's got enough for the first down, and he does. And Burge is the Carl Albert backup quarterback. So that just shows you these high school coaches try to get the best athletes on the field, no matter what position they normally play.
Here you see a little shady job in tackling because he was able to pick up another 3 or 4 yards because the defenders couldn't bring him down to the ground.
And there is Herman Burge. 1st and 10, ball at the 12. Daniel follows Colquitt and bounces back. He ran into a brick wall named Jared Payne.
I'll tell you, right there, you can see that the inside of that Guthrie defensive line is very stout. They have some short, squatty body guys in there, and those guys are very strong and do a good job of getting penetration and getting a push on the offensive line that Carl Albert's putting up against them.
It's 2nd and 12. Very rarely do you see a player bounce back. Runnels moved from the tight end spot into the slot spot, and I think the referee threw a penalty flag.
Well, JD was going to go in motion. Once again, he was going to run away from Harmon to the right side of the formation and see if they can run away from him. One of the things that Guthrie could do to defense what Carl Albert is doing in terms of running towards Runnels after he steps back and goes in motion is they can slant towards
Good ball.
the motion.
False start by the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Ball moves back to the 19. Second down and 17 from the 19. 3:18 to play first quarter. Guthrie scored on the game's first play. Carl Albert's had the ball most of the time since then. Daniel still got it. Great fake. Looking for Runnels. He's got it at the 10. Can't get him. Touchdown, Titans. Penalty marker down. Penalty marker at the 6. Far from the line of scrimmage. Let's check this out. Oh my goodness. Great effort by Daniel and Runnels, erased. And there's Gary Rose. Nothing's going his way in the first quarter.
Clipping by the offense. 15-yard penalty from the spot of foul. Still second down.
They put it all the way back to the 21.
One of the things that you saw on that particular play, you'll see it here, is watch Runnels. After he catches the ball, he does a good job of making a move to get into the end zone. Right there, he keeps his balance and keeps it all the way in till he gets into the end zone.
Brandon Smith is wide to the left. That's Burge in motion. They give it to Freak, going the other way. Tackled by Harmon. Ball's loose. And Guthrie's got it. Jarrell Smith.
Here they run a counter. They fake the ball one way and give it back going the other way. You watch Threet go through there. Right there, Harmon gets a piece of the jersey, grabs him, puts his arm up underneath the football, knocks it out. Guthrie recovers the fumble.
What a play by Harmon. And Smith, trailing on the play, falls on the ball. We've had 3 turnovers here in the first quarter. Guthrie's got it back. They give it to Smith. Not much room there. Tackle made by Mike Dunn.
I'm not sure running right at Carl Albert is what Guthrie wants to do, but I think you have to do it just to keep them honest. But I think more importantly, I think Guthrie wants to run the option and throw the ball downfield.
Well, how long before Guthrie goes back to that flag route?
Been there for 3 years.
Handoff up the middle. Some hard running for Rush. And he's across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Threet made the stop. Third down and about 6 coming up.
Rush is a junior, a real strong runner, much like Colquitt, maybe not as gifted, maybe not as strong in terms of breaking tackles, but here you see that he does have some ability to play that fullback position.
Rush, one of those two-way guys. An outstanding defensive player as well. Jones has still got it. Got a blocker. Up to the 23-yard line and very close to a first down. The chains are on the other side of the field, so the referees are looking all the way across the field trying to figure it out. And there's a Carl Albert player down on the field with an injury.
From here, it looks like they're going to have to measure it, but in doing so, they're going to have to wait until the injured player gets up. Here it is. It's just a bootleg. He fakes the isolation play. The quarterback comes out. They pull the guard. The guard gets out on the perimeter, makes a block, and the quarterback falls forward. They did get enough for the first down.
That's Marcus Allen down on the field.
Yeah, you hate to see somebody get hurt in any football game, and he's laying down there, and they're not letting him get up, so they're being very cautious in terms of making sure that before they move him, he's able to do so without further injuring himself.
There you see Brandon Smith.
You see Coach Rose comes over to the injured players, and then the defensive coordinator. Defensive coaches are talking to the defensive players over there. Coach Rose coming over to make sure that his player is in good shape and that he's getting the type of treatment that all parents and coaches want their players to get when they do take a nick or a bruise during the game.
Well, right now all attention is on Allen, and we hope that he's okay. But I noticed that the downsman, is that the word, Coach? What's the guy that holds the down marker? It's a downsman now. The downsman has already indicated first down. They did not bring a change across the field to measure. From our angle, it looks close. But I'm thinking somebody told him to change that, and so it appears that Guthrie has a first down. 1:19 to play in the first quarter. And there you see Marcus is sitting up.
Might have got his bell rung a little bit. That's the way you try to get someone to come back to their senses when in fact they got their bell rung a little bit.
He was a starting tailback against Douglas when Carl Albert had some injuries. He is a speedster. He's a member of the 4x100 state champion relay team along with the Smith brothers. Let's go down on the field. Steve Marshall, see if he knows what's going on.
Thanks a lot, Mick. Talking with the trainer and also head coach Gary Rose. Looks like he got one of those neck stingers. Coach can tell you a little bit more about those, but a lot of times they just kind of lose feeling in some of their extremities and slowly comes back, but that's what the speculation is early.
Well, eventually, if that's what happened to him, eventually he'll get his feeling back. They hurt for a short period of time, but eventually the blood gets circulating and you get your feeling back.
1st and 10 at the 24. DeMarco Jones is now the quarterback for Guthrie, and he's still got it. Jones across the 30 for 31. He scored the game's only touchdown on an 80-yard pass play. Terry Morrison made the stop for the Titans.
One of the things Guthrie did there was they split Carl Albert out. Look at the split in the line of scrimmage. About a 4-foot split between the guard and the tackle, and that's exactly where the quarterback turned it up and made his yards to pick up a good gainer.
Gain of 8, 2nd and 2. Inside handoff to Rush. I think the ball came loose. But apparently Guthrie got it back at the 35, which is enough for a first down.
Little trap here, number 75 coming over and trapping. Penetration by Carl Albert. Blew it up a little bit, and there's the ball on the ground, and alertly number 75 jumps on the ball and saves it from, that's Kyle Smith that saves it from being turned over to Carl Albert.
Smith is their best offensive lineman. 1st and 10 now at the 35. And if the Guthrie offense questioned whether or not they could move the ball on this rugged Titan defense, they need question it no more. They're able to move the ball. That's Stephen Smith. Didn't get much there. Guerrero getting up off the pile. And there's a good look at Stephen Smith. 4 touchdowns this year for Guthrie. The first quarter is gone, and the 4-time defending state champs are behind. We're in Guthrie, and we'll be right back.
You're watching Cox Communications Channel 3, Oklahoma City, Channel 9, Tulsa. Local, like no one else.
On Cox Communications Channel 3.
Well, stats don't always mean everything. Carl Albert controlled the ball for 8 of 3 of that first quarter of play. Had 17 offensive plays to 8 for Guthrie, but Guthrie's on top, 7-0. Back upstairs.
Thanks, Steve. Mick Cornett and Bob Cortese at Guthrie, along with Steve Marshall. We're ready to start the second quarter. Bluejays have the lead and the ball. They'll snap it from the 38. DeMarco Jones finds a gap and moves up close to a first down at the 45. Coach, I'm surprised that Guthrie's able to move the ball like this.
Well, I haven't seen very many teams run the ball inside against Carl Albert over the last couple of years, but Guthrie seems to have found something in there that they like, and they're really utilizing the option play and the power play off the left side of the line of scrimmage.
They're going to measure this one. If they don't make it, it'll be 2nd and inches. Some coaches would prefer 2nd and an inch to a 1st and 10. You can take a chance.
It's a good time, 2nd and inches, to throw deep and not worry about whether you complete it, and yet get the defense alert to the fact that you do have the ability to throw deep. Even if you don't catch it, they have to respect it.
1st and 10 at the 45. Hey, if you bought a ticket for this game, I hope you were sitting at the north end, because basically the whole game so far has been played down there. The touchdown was scored at the other end, but the play started at the north end. High formation behind DeMarco Jones, who's still got it. Gain of a couple over the right side. Looks like Guerrero's getting up off the bottom of the pile.
They're running the option now with Jones in there at quarterback. He'll fake the ball to the fullback right here. Gives it. The fullback went the wrong way that particular time, and he was faking the ball to no one, and then tried to duck it up in there and pick up a few yards. And he did pick up a couple of yards, but they need to get on the same page when they're making their fake.
There you see J.D. Runnels. He was the first guy to get in on that tackle. And Guerrero fell on top of him. Timeout is called by the Blue Jays. We'll take a break, too. Guthrie's at midfield.
You're watching Cox Communications Channel 3, Oklahoma City, Channel 9, Tulsa. Local, like no one.
Coach, did you know that Guthrie, Oklahoma was the first capital of the state of Oklahoma?
Yes, I did know that, Nick.
The legend has it that some guys from Oklahoma City stole it and moved it south.
When I first came to Oklahoma, I came on a tour here through Guthrie, a bus tour, and they told us the history and took us around the town.
It's a neat place.
Yes.
2nd down and 8. Jones rolls out, fires a bullet, picked off. Is that McClellan or Barksdale? Barksdale.
Well, that particular time, Jones ran the same play that Carl Albert ran when they threw the ball to Runnels down in the goal line. They faked the ball going one way. The tight end dragged across the field, and the quarterback this time was not able to find the open tight end. The tight end was covered. He threw the ball anyway downfield, and they come up. Carl Albert comes up with the all-important interception.
So after an 80-yard strike on the game's first play, the last 4 drives have all ended in turnovers. Daniel swings one wide. Ryan Smith tackled at the 45. William Morgan over there to make the stop. He's having a big hack.
Well, he has really got good range. Not only is he doing a good job of stopping the fullback in Carl Albert's potent offense, but he also has the ability to get out there on the swing pass and put a big hit on the receiver.
Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7. Colquitt and Smith, the running backs behind Daniel. Good look at Andre. To throw. Hits Smith. To the 48. 3 or 4 yard gain before Andrew Knight brought him down.
Russell Rush was in on the tackle there, and then you had William Morgan there again. Just a little swing pass, a little dump pass to the receiver, and linebackers were able to get out there and stop him before he could get the first down.
And you see, after having some trouble going inside on the Blue Jays, starting to swing that ball out wide. 3rd down and 3. Runnels in motion. There you see, moving away from Harmon again. Coach, and they swing it out to Runnels. One-handed grab, but he's hit right there. A brilliant defensive play by DeMarco Jones in the backfield.
Jones is really a very, very good athlete. It is tough to hit Runnels and take him down with the first ball, with the first tackler. And here you see Jones come upfield and get enough of him to knock him off his feet and into the turf. Good job by the defense to cover the all-state swingman there.
So DeMarco Jones has already scored a touchdown as a wide receiver. He went back in at quarterback, and now he's made one of the game's best defensive plays. And here's our first punt of the night, and they're going to fake it. Wide open, Brandon Smith. A diving catch, first down, Titans.
Well, they must have saw something in the scouting report films that showed a weakness in Guthrie's punt protection defense. And here you see the quarterback just come back and throw the ball. What a great job here by Smith. He wasn't looking to score. He knew he had to catch the ball, and if he didn't, the ball would then go over to Guthrie. So he made sure he put himself on the ground, caught the ball for unnecessary yards.
Ball advanced to the 41. Daniel follows Barksdale and breaks into the clear. 30, 25, 20. Still on his feet. And all the way. 40-yard touchdown run by Andre Daniel. Daniel threw the ball on the fake punt, and then on the very next play, follows his fullback, breaks into the secondary, and shows that open field speed.
Well, that's their option play. What they did there was fake the ball to the fullback, and then the quarterback keeps it, ducks up inside the defensive end, and beats everybody to the goal line.
Birch is the holder, and the kick is no good. George Jacobs' kick goes wide to the left. Carl Albert scores, but fails to tie it up. We'll be right back.
You're watching Cox Communications Channel 3, Oklahoma City, Channel 9, Tulsa. Local, like no one else.
Able to find the opening inside the defensive end. Once he gets in the secondary, the tall, lanky quarterback has enough athletic ability to make people miss him and scamper into the end zone.
I think 6'3" quarterbacks aren't supposed to be able to run like that.
Well, he has good speed.
He's very coordinated as a runner. Keenan Webb splits wide to the right. Jason Shoemaker is wide to the left, along with Cody Garrett. And the pitch goes wide to Stephen Smith. And there's a fumble, and the Titans have got it. Oh, the big turnover. I think Barksdale came up with it.
Let me tell you, that was Dunn. Steve Dunn came across the line of scrimmage on the pitch play, lowered his shoulder, and upended the ball carrier and the blocker. And as he did, Smith fumbled the football, and Carl Albert looks like they recovered it. Let's watch to see the fine play by Dunn. As he comes across the line of scrimmage, he's able to get penetration, knock down the fullback and the ball carrier, and knock the ball out of the running back's hand. Gives his team an opportunity to get the ball.
So Barksdale, who got an interception on Guthrie's last possession, comes up with the fumble recovery. And now Carl Albert's got 1st and 10 at the Guthrie 24. This is J.D. Runnels in the clear. Stumbles as he makes the move outside, and his nemesis, DeMarco Jones, falls on him, but not before he picks up a sizable gain of about 7 yards.
Well, that was one of the new plays that Coach Rose talked about before the game. Here they ran the halfback out of the backfield and moved him downfield, which drew the defense to him, and then they ran a tight end screen to Runnels, and he was able to catch the ball and find a little bit of yardage and pick up some positive yards down here towards their goal line.
Officially a gain of 6 for Runnels, 2nd down and 4. Split backs behind Daniel. Colquitt over the right side. And at the 16-yard line, a penalty marker coming out late from the linesman.
They're finding it tough inside. Guthrie has a good interior front. That number 45, that linebacker for Guthrie, Martin, is that his name? He is Morgan. Morgan is a very good middle linebacker. He's got a couple of good defensive linemen playing 1 and 3 techniques inside, and they're able to shut down Colquitt.
I think we got a face mask here. Maybe we'll see it on the replay. Yeah. See the face mask?
Right there, yeah. Good call by the officials.
Good work by our camera.
So we got a
crew as well.
defense. It's 5 yards, first down.
Wow, that looked like it should have been more than 5. I mean, his head really was jerking around when the face mask was grabbed, but only 5 yards.
It's enough to move the chains. And Carl Albert's down to the 13. 6:58 to play in the first half. Guthrie scored on the game's first play, still clinging to that lead. It's now 7-6. Daniel still got it, and he wishes he didn't. Carrington Smith, blitzing linebacker. Daniel turned around and said, uh-oh.
Well, Daniel fakes the ball going to his left and then tries to come back to his right, but there you see number 35 right there, Johnny on the spot, takes him, throws him down. Huge loss there, which gets him maybe out of field goal range. So this is a big play for both teams right now, 2nd and long.
Ball is all the way back to the 25. 2nd down, 22. Daniel with plenty of time. Throws on rhythm. A bullet. Caught at the 15-yard line. Make it the 14-yard line. Brandon Smith and another penalty marker coming in from the lines judge.
Well, that was an excellent reception by Smith. He was hit just as the ball got there and was still able to hang on to the ball, turn and pick up a couple of more yards. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a pass interference called, even though he caught the pass.
Well, that would be an automatic first down.
Right.
Oh, that's a huge play because they had to get all the way down to the 3 for the first down, and the call comes at the 15.
Well, that just shows you what type of athlete Smith is. Besides being a sprinter on a state championship relay team, he also has very good hands there. He was being bumped by the defender, still made the catch. The official rightfully called pass interference, and that now gives them great field position with the first down coming.
Here we go. Take a look at it. Daniel throwing on rhythm.
Look at the nice job of Smith focusing on the football and bringing it down into his body before the defense could get over. Before the defense could come over and get a shot on him.
They reset the chain at the 12-yard line. Understand that's the 9th first down of the game by Carl Albert. That's a lot of first downs. They don't even have the lead. Daniel to 3. Well, he's got a burst of speed over the right side. He's up close to the 5. Russell Rush came over and made the stop. There you see Russell.
Just power football there. Their fullback, Colquitt, their fullback is able to lead up on the linebacker, and the tailback follows him up in there, and they get a lot of good positive yards down in the goal line situations.
Well, 3 can really accelerate, too.
He's got a quick start.
Yeah. 2nd down and about 4 from the 6. Colquitt bouncing into the end zone. Derek Colquitt gets Carl Albert back in front.
That time Carl Albert comes out in a stacked eye. Then they move the jumbo back over to the left side of the formation. He makes a good block, and Colquitt and Belvin do a good job of making room in there for the running back to break through and score the touchdown.
That's
Call
great blocking there.
Power football, something that Carl Albert has been noted for over the years, that they are able to do a good job running power football, especially when they're in the red zone, inside the 10-yard line, inside the 5-yard line. They get enough people in the backfield to blast their way through there, and good hard running backs, and they usually wind up coming up with scores.
And a little redemption for Colquitt. He had fumbled earlier in the game on a drive.
There's another good shot of it. Look at the blocking up front, the linemen. Look at the ball carriers going through and doing a good job picking up the linebackers, and the ball carrier is able to find the seam and get into the end zone.
Got a stoppage of play here. Carl Albert's obviously going for 2. But they must have called timeout that I didn't see.
Yes, I think they did, Nick.
So they'll spot the ball at the 3, and if you're a team like Carl Albert, you have a play specifically designed for a 2-point conversion, do you not?
Yes, you do, and probably with Daniel at quarterback, it's kind of a rollout run-pass option where he has an opportunity to either flood a zone, and if they drop, he keeps it, and if not, then he throws it. Here he comes rolling out.
Throws, Runnels, diving effort, no! Can't get it.
Pretty well defense there by Guthrie. It might have been something that they had seen on previous game films, because it looked like Runnels did not have much room, and they had covered it pretty well with the defensive backs.
There's a speaker in the house. 12-7 Titans.
Guthrie has self-destructed every time they've got the football, with the exception of the first play, the first series of the ball game. They've turned the ball over quite a bit, and in order to win this football game this evening, they're going to have to sustain the ball and not give Carl Albert the easy turnovers and the great field position.
There hadn't been a punt in this game.
One punt. Oh, no, that's right, you're right.
Oh, they faked it.
Yeah. That was a pass. Yeah. Excuse me.
Well, when your quarterback's the punter, that's one of the things you can do. There you see the turnovers. Shotgun formation. Michael Hayes. Todd Campbell took him down.
Yeah, Campbell just put a move on the defensive tackle, and he was able. I think it was Franklin, Greg Franklin, number 30. Is that who it was? Anyways, the defensive end came through and put a move on the blocker and was able to get to the quarterback. Let's see if we got it here.
I think Campbell was the guy.
Okay. Yes. Good call, Mick. Todd Campbell.
Second and long. Throw it quickly out to DeMarco Jones. Nice gain up to the 22 or 23-yard line. Gain of about 8. Brian Smith made the stop.
It's a nice call. Get back some of it. It's you quickly get the ball to the wide receiver. Hope he can make a defensive back miss him and be able to go down and get the necessary yardage for the first down.
So now 3rd down and 8. Three wide receivers to the left, one right. Passing situation for Guthrie. Hayes unloads it into a crowd, incomplete. Marcus Allen, who was earlier injured, now back in the game, and there you see him. He thought he should have had an interception.
I'll tell you, Carl Albert, because they have such speed at the corner position, they get to use their linebackers to plug up the middle of the zones on the passes, and they're not able to find any seams. They have good corners with great speed, and you're able to use your linebackers inside to keep people from catching the ball in the hole there.
And we now expect our first punt of the game. Carl Albert players get away from it momentarily, and then Barksdale grabs it and gets it at the 48-yard line in Guthrie territory.
The rule rule on punts that you like to teach your punt returners is that you can touch the ball if it hits the ground and bounces once. After the first time it bounces, no matter where it goes or how it bounces, we do not want you to touch it. Usually the first bounce is straight up in the air and you give him the opportunity to take that. But after the ball hits the ground more than once, get away from it and we'll take our chances.
Burge is splitting wide to the left. Brandon Smith is wide to the right. Daniel wanting to throw, looking for Brandon Smith, who's got his man beat, and he couldn't quite grab it at the 10. Andrew Knight was defending, and there you see why Brandon Smith is one of the fastest track stars in the state.
Yeah, he just runs away from the cornerback, just uses his great speed to get separation. The ball was thrown pretty well, maybe a tad bit behind him, but well enough that he should have caught it, and here he drops the ball, and he's very, very disappointed because he had a sure touchdown if he could have gathered it in.
2nd down and 10 now. Ball at the 49. Brian Smith, Brandon's brother, has moved into the correct spot, slot left, and Burge goes in motion. Pretty fancy play, but Guthrie wasn't looking for it. Will Morgan makes yet another stop. There was a lot of misdirection going on there.
Well, they ran motion to the left. They faked the ball to the left. They came back to the right with the counter play, but Morgan was there, Johnny on the spot, and made the hit before the ball carrier could get any positive yards.
Hey, Will Morgan's made 7 tackles in the first half.
He's a nice high school linebacker.
3rd down and 10 now. Now goes across the middle. Burge can't get it, and it's incomplete. Boy, a great series for Andre Daniel. 2 balls delivered well, but his receivers couldn't quite grab him, and now what do they do?
Well, I think they have to punt now, but here, if you see this pass by Daniels, it's just a little bit high. He turns, sets his feet, throws it just a little bit high. Catchable, however, but not able to bring it in, and that forces them into their second punt situation, and maybe their first punt of the evening.
Herman Burge is a fine receiver, but he's 5'5". Stretched him out as far as they could. Let's see if they punt it this time. Daniel lets it go. It's a very low kick. This is Lance Powers. Finally tackled by Brian Smith. 2:20 to play in the first half. Carl Albert Guthrie giving Carl Albert all at once here. Well, in the 4th, 1st and 10, Hayes in the shotgun. Throws and catches, completes it to Webb up to the 35-yard line. Brian Smith made the stop.
One of the things that I'm surprised about is that they scored with great speed on the outside on the first play of the ball game and have not thrown another pass deep downfield. I think they need to threaten the defense again, try to get a mismatch someplace away from the Smith brothers and see if you can get Jones isolated on someone that might not be quite as fast.
Well, we saw Will Morgan on the sidelines there. They were doing something under his shoulder pad. Shotgun to Hayes. Throws. Incomplete. Andrew Knight couldn't quite come up with it. 3rd down, 5.
Well, I don't know how they did it on the first play of the ball game, but they got their fastest player on a defensive cornerback that was not quite as fast as he was. They got Threet, who does have good speed, on Jones, and they got to figure out another way that they can do that because the Smith brothers are too good and have too much speed to.
Comes a blitz. Franklin and Guerrero.
Tight
Titans call timeout with 1:26 to go. And you're a quarterback, that's a nightmare seeing those two guys coming your way.
Well, you see people coming through, you know you're going to take the hit. You just kind of hold the ball into your chest and make sure that you don't turn it over and just close your eyes and hope to God nobody hurts you, because you got to be able to pick up some blocks up there up front so that the quarterback has an opportunity to throw the football without having people in their face. Let's see if we could see this again. Our camera guys do such a good job. Watch it from the back here. He's coming over to look, and there is 2 linemen coming through, 3 linemen coming through without anybody touching them. Could have been a screenplay that just didn't time out very well.
Well, when you have 4 wide receivers, you don't have a whole lot of blocking back there.
It's the linemen or no one.
There you see Greg Franklin in on that last stop, 6'1", 215-pound junior.
Nice call by Coach Rose here, taking a timeout with 1:26 left. 4th down. Knows he's going to get decent field position. Would like to get at least a field goal or maybe more before halftime, and is in position that he might be able to do that with the exciting quarterback he has in Daniel.
4th down and 13. Rush is back in punt formation for Guthrie. High snap, but he handles it. Gets off a very low kick. 3 comes up and makes a nice stab at the 45. And a good tackle made by, was that Morgan?
You got number 24 hit him. He got a piece of him. So Andrew Knight also got a shot on him. Here we'll see it again.
Murillo made the stop. Oh
yeah.
Fortunately for 3, he got lower.
Now that was a good tackle.
So 1st and 10 for Carl Albert. They'll have 1:17 to try to get some points on the board. Daniel in trouble. Can't get out of it. Will Morgan. Who else?
Had Morgan and Harmon both coming through, 2 of the better defensive high school players that we've seen this year coming through and getting a hit on the quarterback. On top you'll see Harmon, and there you'll see Morgan taking a shot at him.
Loss of about 6, now 2nd and long. DeMarco Jones comes up to play the receiver close. They run a draw play to Smith. Nothing doing. Randall Lewis. Robert Harmon. They lost more yardage.
Yeah, right now they're lowering their ears, Guthrie, and coming after him, and doing so, Carl Albert doesn't have the protection up front to keep Daniel from taking the hits.
8 seconds to play in the first half. Daniel throwing it long for Smith. Incomplete. And time has expired in the first half. What a ball game we've got in Guthrie. 12-7. Carl Albert with a couple of touchdowns after Guthrie scored on the game's first play. Let's go down on the field. Steve, go ahead.
Thanks a lot. Down here with Coach Watkins. Of course, the ball club down 12-7 right now. Scored early. Are we going to see that play again sometime?
Well, I hope you see more scoring more often. Yeah, we'll come back to that set. We've got to go in and look and see what advantages our formations gave us. We tried to run most of our formations in the first half and see what advantages we have. We've got to, we can't just come out and throw the ball the whole second half because that's not really our style. But we've got to be able to throw it effectively. But we can't let them on the field all night long running again
this year, and it's someone that we'll have to keep our eye on again this second half to see if he might repeat as a Jelko Award winner.
Guthrie will be kicking off as we start the third quarter.
this first series for Guthrie is going to be important. If, in fact, they believe that they can win this ball game, they're going to have to get a stop on Carl Albert, and the first series in the third quarter might be the most important in the game in terms of realizing that you have an opportunity to actually win this ball game from a four-time state championship team.
Alex Ray kicking off for the Blue Jays. This is Marcus Allen. Up to the 15-yard line. Lance Powers made the stop.
Well, that was a nice open field tackle by Powers. I thought Marcus Allen had a little bit of daylight there, but all of a sudden, boom, Powers comes in there and makes a nice tackle deep in Carl Albert's end zone.
Brandon Smith splitting wide to the left on 1st and 10. Daniel, the quarterback, hands off to Brian Smith. Step across the 15 to the 16-yard line. That's Threet. Threet, the ball carrier.
On that particular play, big number 75 for Guthrie is able to, Kyle Smith is able to plug up the hole before the ball carrier could get through. He gets good penetration, and the ball carrier bounces out and doesn't find any running room whatsoever.
2nd down and 9. We just started the third quarter. Carl Albert with a 12-7 lead. Pitching it wide to Threet. He can run. What a hit by Robert Harmon.
He came from his defensive end position. I thought it was a defensive back by the speed that he showed in coming up and making the hit, but in fact it was the 6'2", 245-pound defensive end, Harmon, coming across. Watch him. It's like a bolt of light coming through there. Bam! Makes the hit and takes him to the turf.
No question he saved a first down. 3rd and 5. Daniel still got it, and he's going down in the backfield. Guthrie came right out and stopped him. Harmon made another stop, and the punt team goes on for Carl Albert.
Huge series for Guthrie to come out here and stop the four-time state defending champions. Shorten their tracks on the first series of plays. They're going to get the ball back in somewhat good field position.
Harmon's got 6 tackles in the game. This is the first time all night that Carl Albert's had to punt it away. Weak kick by Daniel, but it takes a nice Carl Albert bounce. Handled cleanly by Knight, but he's tackled at the 48-yard line. May have been partially deflected, but Coach, he just didn't get any height on it.
Well, there was no height, and I think he line drive it, and one of the linemen got their hands up or maybe their helmet up and deflected it, but the ball did travel enough yardage that it didn't give him a poor field position as much as if it was actually blocked.
Well, here comes Guthrie. They have been offensively fairly silent since that opening spectacular 80-yard pass play from Michael Hayes to DeMarco Jones. Jones caught that one. Here he's the quarterback as they start the third quarter. Running the option with Lance Powers. Across the 50, across the 45, and a nice gain as they take Carl Albert wide on first down.
Well, it was a good call because it was an option to the wide side of the field. The quarterback puts the ball in the fullback's belly, pulls it out, comes out, has the defensive end turn his shoulders, pitches it out, deals the ball out to the outside, and the running back is able to get some yardage. You look at number 25, Lance Powers, turn the corner and pick up some yards.
Well, the Titans didn't have anybody taking the pitch, man. Gain of 8, 2nd and 2. Hand off to Powers. Look at him go! Cuts to the outside. Smith knocks him out of bounds. First down, Blue Jays.
With good blocking by the Guthrie linemen on this particular play. Watch them fire out. Watch the fullback lead him through. He's able to get up into the line of scrimmage. Then he breaks a few tackles, is able to keep his balance, breaks it to the outside, turns it upfield, and makes himself a big gain on an inside run.
Brian Smith ran him down. 1st and 10 inside the 20. It looked as if Carl Albert moved. I think Ike Guerrero may have jumped across.
DeMarco Jones is the quarterback, and I think he is using his voice to change the cadence around, and in that particular instance, it drew the Carl Albert defender offside.
Offsides by the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Jake Guerrero apparently moved. So now they're inside the 15. Stoppage of play, and the Downsman, as I so aptly named him in the first half, made a mistake. It is still 1st down, and the referee, Marty Askins, caught the error. 1st and 5 from the 15. Jones.
He gave the handoff, the fake to the fullback, and then as a smart quarterback, he followed the fullback up into the line of scrimmage, as you see here, and the fullback becomes a blocker now, and Jones keeps the ball and finds a little seam, picks up a few important yards.
1st and goal. Ball just inside the 10. Powers momentarily found a gap, but Guerrero got him down.
It was the same play that they ran a little bit earlier when he picked up 12 or 13 yards, only this particular time somebody, and I didn't see who it was able to grab his ankles and pull him to the turf. He did have room to run if it wasn't for the shoestring tackle.
Well, you know, Powers is the backup tailback, and technically speaking, Jones is the backup quarterback. He didn't start, although I think they kind of consider that a shared responsibility, with Jones being more of the running or the option quarterback. You know, this is how Douglas moved the ball on Carl Albert, with the option quarterback, David Brown in that case. DeMarco Jones this time, he takes off around the left side and steps out at the 3. Belvin was over there to knock him out of bounds, or he would have scored.
That's just a quarterback keeper. It's a play where it's designed for the quarterback to keep it. He fakes the sprint out to the lead back. The lead back becomes a blocker. He gets it and tries to turn the corner, and he winds up going out of bounds someplace around the 4-yard line, Mick.
Yes. Out of bounds at the 4. Well, on your diary of big plays, circle this one. 3rd and goal. They're standing at Guthrie. Capacity crowd watching the Bluejays. Jones is trying to get in, and the Bluejays have taken the lead.
Well, I'll tell you, Coach Watkins is counting on Jones to be the man. He's handing off, he's faking, and he's also running the football. There, he's got it in for the all-important touchdown.
Leading by 1, they'll go for 2 to try to get that 3-point advantage. 7:52 to play in the 3rd quarter. Guthrie scored on the first play of the first half, and they score on their first drive of the second half. Rush is the lone running back. Wanting to throw, does, incomplete. Threw it before the receiver was ready. And we've got a 13-12 ball game. Can Guthrie do it? Rafe Watkins trying to cheer his squad up. We'll be right back.
You're watching Cox Communications Channel 3, Oklahoma City, Channel 9, Tulsa. Local, like no one else.
Why give my modest grandma such fancy sneakers? Because I know she's still full of life. Because we talk almost every day. Because with Cox Digital Telephone, I can afford to call her as often as I want.
With Cox, your local and long-distance phone service comes on one bill from one company. And you'll save enough to call more and talk longer.
Cox Digital Telephone has the savings plan to fit your local or long-distance calling needs. Switching's free. Keep your same phone number. Call Cox at 604-PHONE today.
Score big with Crosslands. For those hard-hitting jobs, Crosslands rents construction equipment. Our construction team is tough and can handle any job. The best game plan is to buy or rent equipment from Crosslands. We have the all-star players for your heavy jobs and light. Our players are well-tested and top quality. Crosslands, our team of 6 stores means we can get you the equipment when you need it. Buy or rent from a proven winner. Crosslands.
We're back in Guthrie where there's plenty to cheer about. The Bluejays have taken the lead on the Titans, 13-12, 7:52 to play in the third quarter.
Let's remember the importance of this ball game now. Both of these teams know that this is a district game, and the winner of this game will possibly, Mick, have the advantage of playing at home in the playoffs.
That's right. If you finish first or second, then you get a home game in that first round. Once you get to the third round, they go to neutral sites. Of course, Douglas has a game advantage in this district on both of these teams. When you get to November, you want to be home. Alex Ray puts his foot into it. Smith can bring it back from the 5. Got some blocking, and he's got some speed. Brandon Smith brings it all the way into Blue Jay territory. He's at the 38.
Lost his shoe someplace around the 45-yard line, still continued to generate downfield, and was able to pick up maybe another 15 yards after he lost his shoe. Let's see if we can see it here. Good blocking by Carl Albert. It's a left return. He finds a little bit of seam, some missed tackles, is able to get upfield. There he lost his shoe. Look at him. He's barefooted right there, Mick.
That'll slow you down.
No, not him.
Sheila Smith. 58-yard return to the 38. Here's Andre Daniel and the Titans. They trail. Pitching it wide. Bobbled. Marcus going down at the 45. There's Robert Harmon.
Yeah, that's their number one defensive player going into this ball game. Watch Harmon here stay at home. They give it a little fake and pitch it back, and Harmon has nothing to do with it. And you also notice that William Morgan is there, Johnny on the spot.
Well, if Allen took his eye off the ball for a second, it was understandable. He had 2 Blue Jays closing in.
And big ones at that.
Loss of 6, 2nd and 16. Daniel wants to throw. Good protection. Fires a bullet for Burge, who breaks a tackle and has it down to the 25. It's a first down for the Titans.
Well, that's a nice football play. What they do is they cross the 2 receivers. The deep receiver goes first, and then underneath, watch the underneath receiver come across. Right there, Daniel stands in the pocket, throws a strike, picks up the all-important yardage that they were looking for on that particular down. I think it's first down now.
It is. Mm-hmm. Rush made the stop from his linebacker position. 1st and 10, down to the 25. Colquitt. Dragging Morgan into the secondary, gain of about 4, down to the 21.
That was 2 very good high school fullback linebackers playing against each other. Morgan versus the fullback was Colquitt, and they both hit each other. Nice, 2 tough high school players battling right there.
Gain of 3, let's call it, 2nd and 7. And they pitch it to Brian Smith. His brother is the one that returned the kickoff 58 yards. He's got it up close to a first down. DeMarco Jones, who seems to be everywhere on the field, made the stop.
On that toss play into the boundary, Guthrie is outmanned, and they're going to have to make some adjustments because right now they're counting on their safety and corner to stop that particular play, and they're already off the line of scrimmage 7 to 8 yards, so it's going to be a positive situation for Carl Albert almost every time.
Rafe Watkins watching intently. 3rd down and 1. Colquitt's got the first down. Big gap over the right side.
I'd give it to him also if it was 3rd and 1. He's a nice high school football player, does a good job of running. He runs with his knees high and his shoulders low, which means that he's got all his weight going forward, and he's going to come out of a lot of tackles.
Jason Madonna, one of the Titans, opening up a hole over that right side. It's now 1st and goal, just inside the 10. Smith. Does a nice job of cutting it back and moving the pile down to the 5. 2nd and goal from there.
They have to get a little quicker support from their secondary into the sideline here because they're rotated to the field, and they need to be able to stop that toss play that Carl Albert is running so smartly into the boundary.
Timeout on the field. Guthrie's got a 1-point lead. Carl Albert's knocking on the door.
You're watching Cox Communications Channel 3, Oklahoma City, Channel 9, Tulsa.
22 coming out.
Local, like no one else.
Harmon limping.
NBA League Pass is like my own personal NBA control room.
NBA League Pass on Sports in Demand with Cox Digital Cable brings you up to 40 out-of-market regular season games a week.
My job transferred me far from home, but I can still see my team play.
Call now and save $20 with the early bird discount.
When a player's on fire,
when my team tips off,
you'll be there. You could win a trip to the NBA Finals or the NBA All-Star Game. NBA League Pass on Cox Digital Cable. Now, you've got games. Call today.
Ford trucks are built tougher than ever. That's why Ford F-150 is the #1 selling truck in the world for 24 straight years. It's got a double 5-star government crash test rating, the highest conventional towing capacity, the highest payload, the most torque, and with 0.0% financing or up to $2,000 cash back, it's no wonder F-150 is a Consumer's Digest Best Buy. So get the best from the best. Your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
We're back in Guthrie, 2nd and goal at the 5. Stacked I formation. Colquitt, power football. Got closer, but he didn't get in. Guthrie sends Ryan Spate into the ball game now. Steve Lewis, one of the captains, came up in the safety position and made the stop.
I think Daniel calls the play at the line of scrimmage. I think if he sees which side of the defense is overloaded on, he calls the play away from that. That's called check with me in the huddle. And that particular time they went to the weak side of the defense and was able to pick up some good yards down inside the 5-yard line.
Robert Harmon is out of the game now for Guthrie. He's one of their best defensive players. 3rd and goal at the 3. Handoff goes inside to Greg Franklin, and he didn't get in.
Will Morgan, once again, Morgan makes the play. He gets a hit on him.
Lance Powers also helping on the stop. It's 4th and goal. Down to Steve.
Nick, Robert Harmon is up, helmet's back on. He's wanting to go back in, and I'm sure it's going to be dictated by what Carl Albert decides to do on this play, but he is up and ready to go.
What was the injury, Steve?
Field goal.
It was a cramp to his right leg, and the whole time that they were working on him, he was on the ground. He was screaming, "Don't let him score!"
They're going to try a field goal
into the wall.
Moritz Jacobs, foreign exchange student, picking at the north end of the field. It's up. It's over the wall, and it's onto the streets in downtown Guthrie. If they'll throw the ball back, Carl Albert will kick it off. But right now, the Titans are running off the field with a lead.
great tribute to Guthrie's defense to force Carl Albert to kick the field goal from about the 1-yard line. Most of the time, I know Coach Rose, if he feels he can knock it up in there, gives the ball to one of his big running backs and will go for that 1-yard touchdown. But in this situation, he showed his respect for the strong defensive front that Guthrie has put up against him this evening and has opted out for the all-important field goal to give him the lead.
Well, you thought I was kidding about throwing the ball back. They don't have a ball.
Okay. Get the cab driver.
Where's the ball?
The ball should be coming back over.
Carl Albert coming onto the field. They've got another ball. Where? Oh, the kicker's got it.
Okay. Thought you're the visiting team and you have to supply the ball.
Next week, Coach, you and I are going to be watching the Douglas Trojans and the El Reno Indians. Douglas ranked number 1 in the state in 5A.
We've seen them once. They are loaded with athletes.
Yeah, we've seen both of those teams, actually.
Right.
Carl Albert kicking off with a 2-point lead. Ball is brought back by Stephen Smith. Belvin ushered him out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. Got a whale of a ball game going on here in Guthrie. Well, would you expect DeMarco Jones to be back in at quarterback?
I would expect him to be back in and do some of the things that they did the last time they had the football. Give the ball to the I-back and then carry the ball on quarterback keepers himself.
Well, Jones is back in the lineup at quarterback. He has scored 2 touchdowns tonight for the Bluejays. Notice that red paint on this helmet. That's from Carl Albert helmets. He's still got it, trying to run wide and doing it. Beats Morrison to the corner. Barksdale's over there, too. Well, they're just playing a simple game, Coach. Let's race to the corner and see if DeMarco can get there first.
Well, DeMarco has very, very good speed. I'll tell you something. That was an excellent fake because I thought he did hand the ball to the tailback, and in fact, he faked it to them and was able to race him to the corner. Here you see him running. Look at the speed he has. He's able to get outside. It takes one of the Smith brothers to get over there and slow him down. And remember, the Smith brothers were on a state championship relay team last spring.
Half of it. 1st and 10 from the 32. This time they pitch it wide. That's Powers. He was doing fine until he ran into Steve Belvin, and he didn't get anywhere after that point.
Well, I'll tell you what Powers did, though, on that particular play. He was able to make a very sharp cut on the defender and turn it up into the line of scrimmage and pick up a couple yards. Watch him right there. Turn it back upfield, and he is able to run up into the defensive line and pick up 4 or 5 yards.
Belvin, who made that hit, had a shoulder injury earlier in the year.
He stopped him in his tracks.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Just over 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Jones has still got it. Now pitches to Powers and finds a gap. 50, 45. Out of bounds at the 35-yard line, and DeMarco Jones is face down on the field at the 35.
Well, that's expected. He's a quarterback running in the option, and when he comes down to the line of scrimmage, he is fair game to tackle. When you do go to tackle him, they wind up pitching the ball. That time he still took the hit, and you leave yourself defenseless when you're pitching the ball. You watch him. He doesn't have any defense. He's not able to protect himself, but it's all legal, and that's what you expect when you're running the option. Right there, he gets hit.
Terry Morrison got him.
Yeah, well, good job by Powers to catch the ball and get it downfield. Here they come back. Both of these teams look like they got their offenses clicking now.
The one thing Guthrie has is depth at quarterback. They really don't have a preference, although Hayes, who's in there now, is more of a thrower than Jones, who's just left the game with an injury. 2:56 to play in the third quarter. Guthrie down by 2 points. Powers. He's doing some fine running up to the 30.
He has the ability to change direction, stop and change directions very quickly. He gets the pursuit going one way, and then he cuts it back up inside on them. And unless they get their shoulder in on him, he's able to generate some positive yards.
James Lackey made the stop for Carl Albert, but a gain of 6. And Powers, who didn't do much in the first half, has really come out here and run well.
Watch, here's the option where they pitch it to him. Look at him scoot to the outside. He's able to stop there, make a little fake, and pick up another 3 or 4 yards.
2nd and 4. Jones is back in the game at quarterback, all the way up to the 27-yard line, just short of the first down, so it'll be 3rd and short.
That was very well executed by Jones. That time, Carl Albert took away the pitch. Jones saw that there was no pitch, and instead of trying to force it, he was able to turn upfield and at least get the ball back to the line of scrimmage.
Dunn made the tackle. 3rd down and 1. Give it to Rush. Needed a yard, and that's about what he got.
It's going to be close. It's going to be very close, Mick. Looks like the officials are spotting it just short of the 25-yard line, and the down marker looks like it's just short of the 25-yard line.
There's Rafe Watkins, first year as head coach at Guthrie, and what a job he's doing. 5-2 on the season, 3-1 in district play, and giving Carl Albert all they want.
Well, he has great enthusiasm, as we could tell in our interviewing him before the game, and his enthusiasm is contagious, and it looks like Guthrie and the community has got excited about their football now.
Well, there's no empty seats here.
Well, you know what? They fed him before the game also.
Free dinner will do that. First down for the Bluejays.
A little different ball game in the second half than what we saw in the first half. Both teams executing their offense with precision.
First and 10, they stop play.
Looked like Carl Albert got in that neutral zone again.
Let's go down on the field, Steve. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, Kyle Smith, number 75, one of the offensive linemen, a junior for the Guthrie Bluejays. He's not in there right now. Coach came up to him and said, what's wrong with you? And trainer came over and said he took a knee in the head, a little woozy right now. They do expect him to return.
Well, they need him back in there. He's a big football player.
They heard you.
Okay, get him back in. Get back in there. We need you. Get back in there.
Man, you old school guys are all alike. 1st and 15.
Oh, I miscalled the penalty. It was against Guthrie. I thought it was Carl Albert.
Well, apparently Carl Albert didn't enter the neutral zone, although one of their guys did flinch. Ball's back at the 31. Short drop. Throwing deep. Incomplete. The penalty marker coming out. Is that going to be pass interference?
I believe it is. I think Andrew Knight broke to the inside, and in doing so, he got the cornerback to grab him, and as he was grabbing him, the ball was thrown, and that is pass interference. Automatic first down. Well, glad I was right that time. I was wrong the time before.
It was uncatchable, but in high school football, they don't have that rule.
Well, and even if it was uncatchable because they grabbed him and turned him around, so he wasn't able to get to the position where they were throwing him. But you're right.
15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Marty Askins was an outstanding high school golfer at Duncan High School, our referee tonight.
Did you beat him?
No. No. Marty was a lot better than I was.
Golly, gee, I thought you were too handicapped.
Marty played at OU as a walk-on. Made the team. Fumble. Did Jones get it back? I think he did.
You sure don't want to make those kinds of mistakes when you're playing Carl Albert. You have to execute your offense time in and time out, and if you're not doing that, they're gonna get a stop on you. Right here, we get I don't know if it's a snap. No, yep, it looked like the ball got caught on the center's butt a little bit. There, you could see the quarterback alertly. DeMarco Jones does a good job of jumping in and saving the fumble, and at least giving them an opportunity to continue on down towards the goal line.
Final minute of the third quarter. Loss of 1, second down and 11. Option. Jones pitches to Powers, who loses the ball. Still loose, and the Carl Albert crowd is jumping up and down. Let's wait for the official, and the Titans have got it.
One of the things that I mentioned earlier was that DeMarco Jones, when the option was covered, when the defensive end or corner was taking the pitch, man, he didn't pitch it. Here, he didn't do that. He turns upfield and pitches, and as you can see, there is a defender over there, and the back is not able to get the ball. It stops the drive, and it's a stop for Carl Albert and gives them an opportunity now to show their offense once again.
J.D. Runnels recovered the fumble. Now he's in at tight end. Throwing the pass to Burge. Jones tackles him. Short gain up to the 33. Gain of about 4.
Nice first down call. Daniel comes out and throws a strike, picks up almost 4 yards, 5 yards, and they have the ball moving once again towards the goal line of Guthrie.
DeMarco Jones has left the game. I think he's just beat. I mean, the guy has done just about everything he can for Guthrie tonight. He's going to sit out a few plays. Colquitt. Wrestled to the turf by Russell Rush. 3rd and short. Third quarter's over, Coach.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Guthrie and Carl Albert will fight it to the end.
Cox Communications Channel 3, Oklahoma City, Channel 9, Tulsa. Local, like no one else.
Come by Amini's Galleria and see the largest selection of bar stools and pup tables in the country. Select from hundreds of bar stools such as painted metal, steel, oak, and cherry woods, all available in the colors of your choice at sale prices. Looking for that perfect dinette? Amini's also has tables and chairs in glass, Corian, granite, and tile tops available to order absolutely free. America's largest and Oklahoma's oldest, it's Amini's Galleria. Experience the savings.
For unexpected treasures, Amini's Galleria.
It's time to save big at your Oklahoma Ford dealer. Get 0.0% financing or up to $1,500 cash back on Ford Super Crew. The only truck in its class to earn a double 5-star front crash test rating. 0.0 financing or $1,500 cash back on the first full-size pickup that has 4 full-size doors. For big savings on Super Crew, hurry into your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Some people will find any excuse to use their tools on the weekend, but HGTV has the only reason you'll ever need it. We call it the Weekend Work Zone. So if you're looking for smart projects for your home and garden, break out the tools and watch the Weekend Work Zone. Weekend mornings beginning at 8 Eastern, only on HGTV.
You're watching the Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week on Cox Communications Channel 3.
Big play.
We're back. Big play is right. Third down and a long yard for Carl Albert. Guthrie has turned the ball over tonight 4 times.
We'll see now if Colquitt and Daniels can work their magic to get this all-important first down in the 4th quarter.
Runnels is the tight end on the right side of the field. And they run his way. Colquitt picks it up across the 40. He needed 1 and gained 3.
Just a little goal line play there where they come with a offset halfback. They lead the halfback up on the linebacker and put the fullback in behind the halfback.
1st and 10 now. Daniel signaling something to his wide receivers. Short drop. Looks at Burge, now throws for Smith the other way, and it's caught! Brandon Smith's going to the end zone! Touchdown, Titans! 60 yards!
Well, I'll tell you, Cody Garrett was the cornerback trying to defend against Smith. He was in perfect position. When he turned back to look for the football, he just missed it as he waved his arm at it, and Smith was able to keep his eye on it, caught the ball in stride, and wound up scoring the all-important touchdown.
Moritz Jacobs comes on the field for the extra point. Burge puts it down. Moritz slams it through. A 9-point lead at Guthrie. The Bluejays will have their chance when we return.
You're watching Cox Communications Channel 3, Oklahoma City, Channel 9, Tulsa. Local, like no one else.
NBA League Pass is like my own personal NBA control room.
NBA League Pass on Sports in Demand with Cox Digital Cable brings you up to 40 out-of-market regular season games a week.
My job transferred me far from home, but I can still see my team play.
Call now and save $20 with the early bird discount. Plus, you can pay in 4 installments of just $39.75.
When a player's on fire,
when my team tips off,
you'll be there. NBA League Pass on Cox Digital Cable. Now, you've got games.
Score big with Crosslands. For those hard-hitting jobs, Crosslands rents construction equipment. Our construction team is tough and can handle any job. The best game plan is to buy or rent equipment from Crosslands. We have the all-star players for your heavy jobs and light. Our players are well-tested and top quality. Crosslands, our team of 6 stores means we can get you the equipment when you need it. Buy or rent from a proven winner. Crosslands.
We're back 22-13. Carl Albert scoring on a long touchdown pass. Andre Daniel to Brandon Smith.
There's the Blue Jay.
Yep. See that visiting stands over there? I mean, that's a large grandstand that the WPA built for the people here in Guthrie.
Mick, there are a lot of people here this evening. This is a nice crowd. Both sides well populated.
Yeah, I mean, that's the visiting side there.
Yes, right.
The home side is jammed. Gave them a burger and a hot dog and a good football game to boot.
Did the visitors get that also?
If they snuck over there, maybe. Short kick.
Got to pick it up.
Picked up at the 18 and out of bounds immediately. Yeah, they were able to hold on to it. Ball security's been a problem for Guthrie tonight. Let's take a look at that drive.
Well, here's the option that they fumbled right. And this was a huge play. The ball was pitched. The ball's on the ground, and I think that's Runnels, that the All-State tight end, defensive end, who winds up recovering it. And then here's the pass right there. As I said earlier, it looked like Cody Garrett was in perfect position to knock it down. He just missed it as the ball sailed over his head, and Smith caught it and just trotted into the end zone.
Yeah. Great pass by Andre Daniel. No, he's had a couple of drops. Daniel has thrown the ball really well tonight.
Well, I told you earlier in the season that that's the part of the game that he's improved the most, is throwing the football.
1st and 10 at the 20, and they give to Powers. Nice run up to the 25. Marcus Allen made the stop. Guthrie's down by 9. Got to score twice.
DeMarco Jones has to make something happen. He has to use his athletic ability.
Jones has still got it, but there was a bunch of red and white jerseys coming at him.
Carl Albert knows that the ball has got to be in the hands of DeMarco Jones, and that particular time they were able to stop him on his bootleg pass where he's coming out, and it looks like it's a run all the way. He's not even giving him a threat of throwing the football on that particular play.
Todd Campbell made the stop.
Big play by Carl Albert in that particular situation, forcing them into third and long situation. And with the speed that Carl Albert has in the secondary, it's going to be tough for Guthrie to be able to pick this up.
Hayes is in at quarterback. They bring DeMarco Jones out. 3rd down and 20. And a timeout called by the Blue Jays.
Formation just wasn't quite right, and Hayes realized it and saw that he didn't have something to his liking, and he was alertly to take the timeout.
We'll be right back.
You're watching Cox Communications Channel 3, Oklahoma City, Channel 9, Tulsa. Local, like no one else.
Southwestern Oklahoma State University, located just 50 minutes west of Oklahoma City on Interstate 40 in Weatherford, with a branch campus in Sayre. Southwestern is a traditional university offering quality education at an affordable cost with degrees in arts and sciences, business, education, graduate health sciences, and pharmacy. Southwestern has 12 nationally accredited programs, the most among Oklahoma's senior regional universities. Visit Southwestern's campuses or the university's website. You'll see that Southwestern is a great university.
Do you want great prices on plush carpet and laminate flooring? Where you can shop with 12-month Siemens cash financing? For textured plush carpet at only 79 cents per foot?
It's absolutely Abby, and it's absolutely the place to be.
Plus, get Insignia laminate floors by Mohawk starting at just 89 cents per foot at 12 months same as cash. Hurry to Cherry's Floor Fashions, 101 East Main Street, more.
Buy now.
We're back in Guthrie. Guthrie was facing 3rd down and 20. Inserted quarterback Michael Hayes took DeMarco Jones out of the game, then called timeout, and DeMarco's now back in at wide receiver. He's at the right side of your screen, now out of the picture. Wide open, thrown and caught. Andrew Knight still on his feet. 3, can't get him. Look at Knight go. Can he win it? Smith trying to run him down. And did he get in? He's out of bounds. Inside the 5. Oh my goodness. What a timeout.
We got a flag way back at the line of scrimmage. Let me tell you the beauty of that play. They took the timeout. They put DeMarco Jones back into the ball game. The defense was zeroed in on Jones. They ran Jones down the middle of the field. They wheeled another back out, and the other back was wide open. Jones was a decoy, Mick, and they knew it. And that left number 24 wide open Knight, and Knight caught the ball, raced down the sidelines, and almost got it in for the all-important touchdown.
The penalty is apparently against Carl Albert, and one of the officials has got to run 90 yards to go get his flag.
It's half the distance to go. Automatic first down.
That's a par 5 for that official.
That official, they got to hold the game up till he gets back.
Look at Guthrie's ready to go. They want to get up there. They're on the 2-yard line with a chance to pull this game within 1 if, in fact, they can get it.
Somebody go get the back judge.
Now, that official was not a track
40.
star.
He's at the 45. He's at the 50. He's going to be exhausted.
That's a 100-yard sprint.
Not more than that. He had to go each way.
That's right.
He's out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Nice call by Guthrie. Nice call by the coaching staff, Coach Watkins. 3rd and long, and they came up with an idea, and it worked.
Andrew Knight made the play. Hand off to Powers. They're kind of keying in on the run. He didn't get anywhere. Yeah, I mean, I thought they were going to go to DeMarco, too.
Well, they took a timeout. They put DeMarco in the ball game. They put him at a wide receiver. He's their fastest guy. They did run him right down the middle of the field. He runs right down the middle of the field, but this is the last play for them trying to get in. They're going to have a hard time getting the ball in, running up the middle with the tailback. I haven't seen many teams rush the ball right up the gut against Carl Albert in the last couple of years.
Well, you know, you'd be tempted, I guess, to just send DeMarco racing to the corner, but they've seen that play a few times tonight. 2nd and goal. Guthrie down by 9, 8:50 to go in the game. They throw it in the end zone, incomplete, intending for John Hudson.
Well, it was the right call. Hudson just couldn't get his hands on the ball. It was a little high in his defense, but you got to come up with that catch. This is a 4-time state defending champion, and when you beat them, or if you're going to beat them, you got to make plays. Watch right here. He throws the ball. The ball is just a little bit high, but it was a catchable pass. He should have caught it. I think right now Guthrie's got to come up with pull another rabbit out of the hat in order to get this touchdown.
Well, you know, they got to score twice, but you'd sure like to get the touchdown this time. 3rd and goal at the 3. Michael Hayes, the quarterback, throwing, slant. Touchdown! Touchdown! Jason Shoemaker!
Let me tell you what, that was a great catch because there were people waving their hands as the slant pass was thrown, and he was able to focus on it, catch it. The defense was pretty good. He just made the play that I talked about earlier. You have to make plays like that in order to have a chance to beat the 4-time defending state champion.
Down by 4, they'll kick 1. Rush's kick goes over the wall and on to Division Street.
We have to get that ball back because I don't think we got the last one back, and I'm not sure if we have any more balls left.
I'm parked out there. My car probably been hit a couple of times. We're jammed in Guthrie. Jelsma Stadium is rocking.
You know, you talk about rocking. I know some of the high school athletic directors, principals, and coaches felt that if you televise their games, they're going to lose some people at the gate. It's not happening, Mick. In all the games that we've done this year, talking to the athletic directors and the coaches at the end of the game, they have had their biggest crowds when the game's been on TV. And then you look at this atmosphere right here, great old tradition. Here you have both sides, 2 good teams battling for the district play, and both sides are pretty well crowded. Nice crowds. Good high school football. Ball didn't come back, Mick. I know you're looking for it.
I hope they got plenty of footballs. You know, in the Arena Football League, you guys have to have plenty because you let the fans keep them when they go in the stands.
We lose about 24 a game.
Maybe
and we have to
do it
come
here.
We have to come with 35. After 35, the game's over.
Yeah, tell your quarterback not to throw it away so
now we gotta give rewards for people throwing the ball back. $100 if you throw the ball back after the 35th ball's in the stands.
Carl Albert 22, Guthrie 20. $8:48 to play in the game.
Plenty of time. They better cover this. Carl Albert has been known to pop field position. You get the ball to one of those deep backs, they've been known to get good field position by returning it deep downfield.
There's the kickoff, and we got a penalty. I guess the kicking team was offsides. Did they stop play for that? I thought they just threw a flag.
I don't know.
Let's see.
I've been coaching 30 years. I still don't know all the rules.
Well, it'd be nice if every level of football had the same rules, wouldn't it? Apparently they do stop play, and they'll push them back, presumably 5 yards, and kick off again.
I don't believe that. I don't believe you stop play. Well, maybe for safety purposes it would be nice to stop it.
You got somebody 20 yards off sides. They'll kick off from the 35.
Well, they're inching into good field position without even returning the ball. Carl Albert has an opportunity now to get decent field position.
Well, Guthrie has lost twice this year, once to top-ranked Douglas and once to Shawnee. In that Shawnee loss, they had one of those nights where they kept turning it over, and that's kind of what's happened to him tonight. 4 turnovers in the game.
Coach Watkins has said he'd like to play Shawnee again.
This is Smith. He's got it at the 15, wants to run to the left. Not going to get there. I think I'll run to the right. Not going to get there either. The Guthrie defense is storming the field. They feel the momentum coming up. William Morgan made yet another stop, and Carl Albert takes the field up by 2. 1st and 10 at the 16.
Okay, let's take a look here at the Guthrie. Right there, you see the quarterback going back. He throws the ball. He finds Knight all alone. Knight does a good job. I thought here he was going to get torn down by the tail of his shirt, but he's able to break that and run downfield. And then you see one of the Smith brothers coming over using the speed to prevent the touchdown.
And then the brilliant catch and throw for the touchdown.
Yes.
Jason Shoemaker. Hope his VCR's running at home. 1st and 10. I think that's Colquitt, surrounded by blue jerseys at the 18. Morgan make the stop.
Morgan was there. Scott was there. There was a host of defenders in on that particular tackle.
My son Michael keeping track of defensive tackles. Coach, he's got William Morgan with 13 stops.
That's pretty good.
That's a big-time game.
I had 13 stops in a season.
1st and 10, or rather 2nd and 8. Daniels still got it, looking for Burge, goes up, makes a catch. 1st down for the Titans, and a penalty marker coming in at the spot of the tackle at the 30-yard line.
I have no idea what this penalty could be. It was not... Oh, could have been a pick. Could have been a pick. Our man, Mr. Marshall down there has... Yeah, I think he's right.
Well, it's one of those penalties that, let's see, it is. You know, it's not called enough. You know, they don't catch all of those.
Let's take a look.
Well, that's a huge call. Because that was a 1st down for the Titans. Steve, go ahead.
See it up there that it looked like J.D. Runnels was taking out a defender while the ball was still in the air.
Wow, that's a great eye, Steve. That's a good job from down on the field. We have a much better view of it.
After this with the goal, and lost it down. 3rd down.
Steve, that's great call there. Let's see it right here. We got it. Here he is throwing it. Right there, right. Runnels is blocking while the ball's in the air. Good call by the official. Being alert to see something that isn't called very often. I know as a coach you appreciate those officials finding those illegal plays and calling them against your opponents when they're made.
3rd and 17. Throwing downfield. Diving effort by Burge. It's right at the 1st down marker. He caught the ball. Is it enough?
Well-coached high school team. Burge went to the stakes and made his break. It would have done him no good to run a 10-yard out. He went 17 yards. He needed 17 yards. Now it all depends on the spot whether he got the 1st down. What a nice play by the quarterback and the receiver and knowing where the down and distance markers are.
Here comes the chain crew. See the official marking the 20, and here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh, they're 5 inches short.
What do you do?
What do you do?
You punt it.
You can't go for it on your own 25, can you?
You need an inch. I know you have a nice quarterback. Maybe try to draw him off sides. But the gamble is not worth it. You got the lead.
7:23 to play in the game. Carl Albert's got a 2-point lead. They want to call timeout and think this one over. Wow. A great catch and throw. Burge reached out, made the catch 4 or 5 inches short of the first down on a 3rd and 17 play.
It's well coached when you go to the markers and you know you need 17. Don't make the break at 10 and catch a 10-yard pass when it's 3rd and 17. So he went to the markers. He caught the ball right at the markers. He was just 1 inch short of what he needed. Now we have some decisions to be made. Now the coaching, the chess part of the ball game comes into play. What does Coach Rose do? Does he punt the ball and play field position and take a chance with his defense, or does he gamble that his offense can get the necessary yardage and continue to eat up the clock by running the football down the field?
We're keeping our eyes on the linemen and linebackers, and momentarily we'll be announcing our Jelco Workman of the Game. Jelco honoring the guys that get the uniforms dirty in the middle of the field. Well, I got to think that one of the things Gary Rose is telling his Carl Albert team is we need to draw them offside, so you guys be sure and don't jump yourself.
Well, sometimes it's better to go on the first down because remember now, Guthrie is telling their guys don't jump offside, so they're sitting back a little bit and they don't get off on the line, off on the ball, and you're able to get the inch a lot easier. Let's see what happens.
Well, they're lining up as if they're going to go for it. Nobody's sitting down. Hand off. And I think he got it. Yes. Colquitt took the ball over the right side, and I think he got enough for the first down.
Yes, what they did was they put the halfback to the right side, then they give the ball to their big fullback running in behind the halfback, and the fullback is now the ball carrier, and the halfback becomes the lead blocker, and they got enough movement from the linemen that they did get the necessary yards for the all-important first down.
They run on the side of J.D. Runnels. Runnels is lined up on the left side this time. Colquitt takes it inside. Doesn't get anywhere. Morgan in there on the stop. Randall Lewis also in there to make the tackle. Gain of 1, 2nd down and 9 coming up. The clock starting to work in favor of Carl Albert. And we have an equipment timeout. We got a young man with a chin strap or some sort of problem with his helmet. He's getting it snapped back on, though. It's Jay, Bluejay. I couldn't figure out what those girls' shirts indicated at first. 2nd and 9. Pitch it to Smith. Tackle by Harmon.
Of all the plays this evening that Carl Albert has run, they have had good success running the toss to the outside. They're able to reach and hook the defensive end and get Smith some running room outside. They haven't broke one for a long yardage, but they have picked up a nifty 8 or 9 yards at a shot. And when you need 8 or 9 yards, that's a pretty good play to call to.
It moves the chains. First down at the 40.
Some of the Guthrie linemen coming out of the game look like they're a little bit winded right now, been on the field for a while.
Freet is rocked. William Morgan. Good grief, how many tackles is that? 15 tackles for William Morgan.
William Morgan is a tough hombre. He comes through there. He has reckless abandon. Good, nice high school linebacker. Reads his keys on a misdirection play and is able to stop the ball carrier right in his tracks.
2nd down and 9.
Where's that toss?
3. Penalty marker out. Kyle Smith fell on him. Nice gain, up close to a first down, but let's check out the penalty marker.
Probably a hold by Carl Albert on the defensive end. They got to the corner very easily, and they're trying to reach him. Sometimes those tight ends get out there and grab him.
Well, you're right, and that's a backbreaker. Hello. Well, that's 10 yards from the spot. And that turns, what was a first down. They picked it up on 2nd and 9. But that's an important, when you're blocking on the end.
Penalty from the spot of foul. Still 2nd down.
I mean, you can argue that that's the reason they got the 10-yard
Let's see if we can get that hold here. Our camera crew does a good job right here. You can't quite see it. But here's the ball carrier coming. You notice that there's no defensive end there. The flag had already been thrown. He picks up 10 yards. Good job by the official in making that call so that the end doesn't have an unfair advantage.
So instead of 1st and 10 at midfield, it's 2nd and 17 from their own 33. Daniel running option with Burge. Gain of about 2, and Daniel is down on the field, face down.
Mick, let me tell you, number 22 who ran the halfback down is Robert Harmon. Robert Harmon is 6'2", 245. Watch him turn, run, and catch the pitch man before he can get to the corner.
There you see Harmon, but all eyes right now are on Andre Daniel.
Watch Harmon here. Right here, Daniel comes down, pitches it. There's the hit on Daniel. You got the running back out there, and there is a 6'2", 240-pound lineman running down the tailback after he catches the pitch. Now, I'll tell you, that tailback is Herman Burge, and Burge has some speed of his own. So for Harmon to get there, that's a pretty nice high school football play.
And as Daniel is helped off the field, Burge is the backup quarterback.
Well, losing Daniel will hurt them in generating some offense because Daniel can run and throw. Burge is a nice quarterback. We have seen him in there, but he's not the Daniel. Once again, here's the quarterback running the option, and this is the disadvantage of running the option. Your quarterback becomes vulnerable to the hit. When he's pitching the ball, he cannot protect himself. Your defense has a chance to tackle him because he is a threat to be a ball carrier.
And when you're 6'3", it's hard to run the option.
Well, he's done a pretty good job over it the last couple of years running it, but he's not very thick. He's only 180 pounds, 6'3", 180 pounds, so he hasn't loaded up with a lot of muscle, so he can take some of those hits from the tough defensive ends that he's playing against.
Well, Burge is in at quarterback on 3rd down and 15 from the Carl Albert 36. Colquitt in motion and a penalty marker coming out.
What could this be? Delay?
But no, it's not a delay.
Legal.
Legal procedure.
It's not like Carl Albert.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
Well, and they've got their running quarterback in the game on 3rd down and 20. I mean, that's what the injury has done to him.
Yeah, Daniel not being in there.
But, they've got the type of receivers where, they might get open.
Well, you got to have somebody to throw it to him. Remember now, Daniel is a threat running and throwing.
3rd down and 20. J.D. Runnels is a tight end on this near side of the field. They pitch it wide and run it that way. Oh, look at the defensive play.
Guess who?
Oh, my gosh.
Guess who?
It's William Morgan. Big Will. Wake up.
That time, and he hurt him too. He put him down hard to the turf. Well, you look, we got somebody getting up slow. Guthrie is physically taking it to Carl Albert. Now, Carl Albert is a tough group of guys. I'll tell you, Coach Rose makes sure that those players are battle tough, but they're taking a beating right here in Guthrie, Oklahoma by the Guthrie Bluejays.
Hey, they're got a bunch of guys going to be at the Saturday morning clinic.
Right, look at this. Right here is the toss play. This time they turn it in. Big number 75 turns it in, and then you have number 45, Will Morgan, coming through and taking the ball carrier down to the ground.
4:42. Carl Albert leads by 2 points. But a series of injuries here in the fourth quarter. They're just trying to get out of Guthrie alive. High punt. Knight wants to catch it, but wisely stands back and lets it go dead at the 30. And Guthrie is 70 yards from pay dirt, trailing by 2 points.
Are you ready for some football? High school football, that is.
Full house and nobody's leaving.
Well, they're all standing.
There you see Gary Rose, Carl Albert coach. If he bought himself a ring after every one of his state titles, he's looking for a thumb. First and 10 at the 30. Powers. Oh, look at 3 run him down.
One of the things that's so impressive about Carl Albert is the great team speed that they have. Now, Guthrie has some speed as well. Powers is a guy that hits it up inside and bounces to the outside, but to get the big play, it's tough to do against Carl Albert because they have so many players that can run so well. The 2 Smith brothers are all speedsters in their own right. Watch Powers here. He goes up in, fakes it up inside, then tries to turn the corner here. And right here you see Threet come over, uses his great speed, and takes him down to the ground. Powers is out of the game.
Equipment problem. Second down and 9. Incomplete. Great defense there. I think he would have caught it, but the defender got in there and knocked it loose. Threet wound up with the ball, but it was incomplete before he did.
Well, that puts Guthrie in the position of having to get 7 yards on the third down play. Right here you'll see him rolling out, hides the ball on his hip, comes out, throws the ball, throws it a little bit behind the receiver, and as the receiver turned to catch it, the defender came in, hit him, very tough pass to catch. Got to put the ball out in front of him in that particular situation.
So Threet stripped the ball away and then recovered it. Incomplete, third down and 9. 3.5 minutes to play. Incomplete.
No one there. No one home.
Well defended by the Titans, and now it's fourth down in a passing situation.
Now Guthrie's going to have to depend on their defense to make a big stop on Guthrie in order to get the ball back. I mean,
so you're saying punt it away?
Oh, yeah, you got to punt it away here. You got 3.5 minutes left. Guthrie is going to have to count on their defense to stop Carl Albert, get another punt out of them, and see if they can generate some offense. They need 3 points. They don't need a touchdown. All they need to do is get the ball in field goal range. I don't know what the field goal range is for Guthrie. I don't know what their range is that their kicker has.
Rush is hit, and a roughing the punter call.
Wow.
Is going to negate a splendid punt, which went down to the 21.
A line drive punt again, by the way.
You're kidding me. Automatic first down coming up.
I'm not sure why Carl Albert. I think Carl Albert did not think they were going to punt it. They were looking for the fake. They had no one deep, Mick, and I'm not sure why they went for the block in this particular situation. Your opponent wants to give you the ball back in decent field position. You have a 2-point lead. Take it and see if your offense can generate some yards and eat up the clock. But in going for
roughing the kicker on the white, it's 15 yards and automatic first down.
And going for the block, you take the risk of making the roughing the punter penalty, and that gives the ball back to Guthrie in better field position. And remember, all they're looking for is a field goal. I'm talking a lot.
Ball has been moved up to the 48-yard line.
Good high school game. And the fans, they haven't sat down.
It's a shame somebody's going to have to lose this one.
Right. Important game for both teams, district playoffs.
Been fun to watch. Michael Hayes, the Guthrie quarterback. Powers. May have gained a yard. Second down and 9. The clock is ticking past the 3-minute mark.
I don't like second-guessing coaches because I don't like people second-guessing me as a coach. But there is no way I feel that Guthrie can win this football game without throwing a few passes and completing them. They need to get into field position. It's pretty tough to run the football against Carl Albert. Now, in defense of Guthrie, Carl Albert has a pretty good pass secondary.
Well, DeMarco Jones has checked into the game. He is split wide to the right, and Hayes is looking that way. And he got it! DeMarco Jones is loose! Tackled at the 25-yard line. First down, Bluejays.
Now let me explain this. That ball was not intended for DeMarco Jones. DeMarco Jones, once again, was the decoy. The ball was thrown to, I believe, Knight, and Knight coming back to it. Jones cuts in front of him and catches the ball. The defender had a better chance at catching it than Knight did, and Jones came back and made the play.
You think if Jones saw that the ball might be intercepted, came back on his own?
Could have. Some instincts. Some players have instincts.
First and 10. Powers. Picked up 3 or 4 yards, and the clock continues to roll inside 2 minutes.
I mentioned earlier that they needed to complete a pass. That was the pass they needed to complete. Now they need to be able to run the football and get their kicker maybe a little closer for a better opportunity to kick the field goal to give them the 1-point lead. Clock still running.
If they had to kick a field goal from here, it'd be a 40-yarder.
I'm not sure of the range of the kicker from Guthrie. I know his extra points were very good, but I'm not sure.
They throw it complete. Keenan Webb, leading receiver for the team heading into this game, is out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Is that where he is? Looks like the 10-yard line.
It was a little hitch pattern. Nice call, by the way. They haven't run very many hitches. It was just a little hitch pattern by the receiver. He runs downfield. The quarterback throws it into him. All they want is yardage. The defender comes up, misses the tackle. He picks up another 7 or 8 yards to get the field goal kicker closer, which gives him a better opportunity to kick the ball through the goalpost.
At this point, it would be a 30-yard field goal. First and 10. Ball's on the 12. Pumping short. Throwing into the end zone. Incomplete. Barksdale was there to knock it down.
Not sure that's a good call. I think they're in field goal range right now. I know you hate to leave it up to a kicker, but even an average kicker has an opportunity. You throw the football down here, and with the speed that Carl Albert has, you could get the ball intercepted, and that'll take the wind out of your sails.
Well, you're right there. Barksdale almost got it. He's made one interception in the game and recovered a fumble.
I think you keep pounding him with Powers up inside just to get the ball, inch the ball a little closer, and then on your third down play, make sure you run the ball to the middle of the field so your kicker has a straight-on kick and not such an angle.
Powers up across the 10-yard line to the 9, and I think the ball may have come loose.
No, they're marking it. They don't have to hurry. Guthrie seems to be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry. You have plenty of time. I don't know how many timeouts they have left, but I would run the same play. Get the ball more towards the middle of the field, which will give your kicker an opportunity to make a straight-on extra point type kick.
It would be a 27-yarder from here.
Don't go right. Go left. Run left.
Powers hitting the backfield.
That's okay. You got the ball in the middle. That's okay. Don't worry about that. It doesn't make any difference on the distance he's going to kick. Whether the ball's on the 8-yard line or the 14-yard line, most kickers have the distance. Now it's the accuracy. You got the ball in the middle of the field. Gives you an opportunity. Great high school football game.
A 2-point lead. And we assume a 30-yard field goal coming up on 4th down and 11. And, Coach, they were ready for this one.
Well, they knew just what, the coaches aren't foolish. They know that you want to get the ball in the middle of the field. They set their defense for that particular play. It was a good call by both sides of the football. The defense knew it. The offense wanted to get it to the middle of the field. Don't worry about the fact that you lose 3 yards. Distance isn't a factor anymore. Now it's getting the ball in the middle of the field so that the kicker has a straight-on shot.
Marcus Allen made the tackle. He's also the Carl Albert player that roughed the kicker that kept this drive alive.
Right now, if I were Guthrie, I would be talking to my protection people, not my kicker. Guys, make sure they don't block this. You have to protect. The kicker will make it. Have faith in him. You guys make sure that he has an opportunity to kick it through.
J.D. Runnels has blocked a kick this year. Greg Franklin has blocked a punt. They may need a block here.
Russell Rush is the kicker.
Yeah, they're changing kickers. This is a longer field goal. I guess they think that Russell Rush has a better chance. It's a 30-yard attempt to take the lead. It's on the way. And it's good. Been this happy in Guthrie since statehood.
I'll tell you, one of the biggest plays of the game was Guthrie running the last play for a -2 yards, but getting the ball in the middle of the field so that the kicker has the straight-on kick with the distance from the left and the right being equal so that he has less variables of missing it.
I mentioned they changed kickers. They did not. Russell Rush is the normal field goal kicker. Boy, he hit that one good, Coach.
Kicked it pretty well.
High school kickers don't have a whole lot of experience of kicking game-winning field goals. Let's take our hats off to Russell Rush.
And remember now, Rush has been playing that fullback position for them. So he's been in the ball game taking a beating, blocking and
linebacker.
Yes.
He's a linebacker, too.
So, but you know what? He's a good athlete, and coaches had confidence in him. They called his number, and he kicked it through. Right now, they have a 1-point lead over the 4-time state defending champions.
You know what Guthrie's saying? If only it were over.
You need a split kick here. You don't want to kick the ball deep, especially to the Smith brothers, because those two guys do have the ability to go coast to coast. I think you squib it and let one of the fullbacks or one of the upbacks try to gather the ball in and see if you can circle them up, and then maybe they'll only have time for one Hail Mary pass. But I would not kick it deep. I would try to just line drive it down the middle of the field and hope one of the upbacks who don't have some of the speed that you see back there for Carl Albert return it.
The clock will not start until a Carl Albert player touches the ball. Ball is teed up, as you see. Alex Ray kicks off for the Bluejays. Kicks it on the ground. Touch, bobbled momentarily. Picked up by Franklin. He gets out of bounds to stop the clock. And the clock reads 12 seconds. I guess it originally read 17. There were some light bulbs out when we thought it was 11. It must have been 17. So now it reads 12. Well, no team in 5A has more speed at the wide receiver position than Carl Albert.
Well, we saw Smith being covered by a Guthrie player come up with the reception and score a touchdown, even though Guthrie was in position to knock the ball down.
First and 10 at the 30, and Andre Daniel is back in the game at quarterback. He was knocked out earlier on a leg injury. the shotgun. Throwing, hit, intercepted. Guthrie's going to win. Guthrie's going to beat Carl Albert, and they're going crazy on the near side of the field. Kyle Smith intercepted the pass. I think Harmon hit him.
There's still 5 seconds left in the ball game. They have to control their emotions, get off the field. I know it's hard to do. This is a huge victory for Guthrie and for Coach Watkins and his coaching staff to come in here and be able to beat a well-coached and excellent high school football team in Carl Albert.
All they have to do is down the ball, and this one's over.
This is my favorite play when I'm executing it.
They did it.